Tim Cook will step down as Apple CEO and hand the reins over to the iPhone maker's hardware leader.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News Report. Vice President J.D. Vance is heading back to Pakistan for a new round of peace talks this week. President Trump says extending the ongoing ceasefire is, quote, highly unlikely. He's threatening to, quote, knock out all power.
All right, let's get to what we're trying to see here.
Iranian flag ship for trying to get past the American blockade. John Turnus, the Strait of Hormuz. Tim Cook is stepping down as Apple's CEO after nearly 15 years. John Turnus, the head of hardware engineering, will be the one replacing him. Cook will take on a new role as Apple's executive chairman in September. The Trump administration now accepting claims for tariff refunds.
All right, all they want to talk about is Trump there. So this dude's taking over right here. John Turnus is his name, as Tim Cook steps down. It's not a coincidence that the Apple founding anniversary was just a few weeks ago. Okay, you look at the article. This is the article, April 20th. Apple was founded April 1st, 1976. So just a few weeks after the founding anniversary, we get a story here. And check it out. This is the guy taking over, John Turnus. Look, 144 is like the first day of the fourth month with the founding date. Even, I pointed this out before, look at Apple Inc. 41, which is the founding date, 4/1. Even Apple Inc., look at in the reverse cipher, 140, 140, which is like the first day of the fourth month. You get the 1 and the 4 right there. Check that out. Notice how Apple was founded in 76. Look, Apple Computer Company was founded, we just hit on that 4-1. Look at the 76, 1976. Look at that right there. And Apple Inc. equals 76. Even John Turnus, this is the guy taking over as CEO. He's born 1 year before 76. Look how close that is. Solid stuff right there. And again, look, Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology company headquartered in Cupertino, California. Good stuff, huh? So off to a rockin' start here with this decode. And notice, look at this right here. So founded in April. Look at the language. April. April. Apple. You see that? 5 letters. Both start with A. You get the P in there. You get the L to where it's almost the same word. So synced up with April is Apple. And look how close that is one more time. And Tim Cook steps down. He will turn the CEO duties over to Apple's head of hardware engineering, John Turnus, on September 1st, 61 days before his birthday. Okay? You see that? 61 days. Look at September 1st is Eric Adams' birthday. And he is the former mayor of New York City. And New York is the Big Apple. Look at that right there. You see that? That's the Eric Adams birthday. You flip that 6 over and it's 9-1. 61 days before Tim Cook's birthday. Look at that. Flip the 6, it's 9-1. On 9-1, John Ternis will be taking over. Tim Cook remaining involved with the company as executive chairman. Check that out. The Big Apple, New York, again, former mayor. Big Apple, now you get Apple Inc. with the connection by the language. I feel like there's supposed to be more on that slide right there. Okay, next slide. Tim Cook's birthday is 11/1, which is 111, and New York equals 111. Look at this Big Apple, which is New York. Look at the Big Apple and Apple Inc. connection. Isn't that wild? That's wild, isn't it? And let me pull up Eric Adams. Look at this with Eric Adams, former mayor. Look at over here. So even he's born on the 1st. Tim Cook's born on the 1st. Eric Adams served as the 111th mayor of New York City. Check that out. The 111th mayor of New York City. And again, New York equals 111. Remember, New York's the 11th state as well. Tim Cook, born in 1960. His birthday leaves 60 days in the year. Good stuff. Good stuff. Easy money. Now let's play this. Maybe.
Big breaking news out of Apple. Tim Cook is stepping down as CEO after 15 years in the role. He joined Apple in 1998, but he's not leaving. He joins the board as executive chair. Taking over as CEO is John Ternus, Apple's longtime head of hardware engineering. This is a big deal because Ternus is not a finance or an operations guy. He's a hardware and engineering guy. He's a product builder. He's behind the iPhone, the Mac, and iPad, and has been for years. So what does this mean? Apple is signaling a shift. Under Cook, it became an incredible operations, massive growth in services story. Under Ternus, we're really expecting a renewed focus on products, chips, and on-device AI. This is the biggest leadership transition at Apple since 2011 when Tim Cook took
over in 2011. Remember, he's born in the 11th month, New York, 111, 11th state.
over from Steve Jobs. But this time it's calm, it's planned, and it's communicated ahead of the company's earnings next week. Bottom line, Apple isn't changing direction overnight. Tim Cook's still going to be involved in strategy, supply chain, and the company says,
look at this, even Steve Jobs, former CEO of Apple, look, he died in 2011. This stuff is so scripted. Gosh. This stuff is so freaking scripted. Look at that, man. He dies. He takes over for this guy. And this guy dies in 2011. Come on, man.
he's going to lead talks with governments around the world. But this is Apple gearing up for its next era.
Dude kind of looks like Dr. Drew and Bill Gates. Dude looks like Bill Gates. Look, Bill Gates, his birthday is a few days before Tim Cook. And this is Microsoft. So you got Microsoft and Apple with this connection. Isn't that wild? Look, October 28th, Bill Gates, Tim Cook a few days later, November 1st. Isn't that amazing? On the fly right there. He looks like Dr. Drew a little bit, but I don't. September 4, Dr. Drew's got the Beyonce birthday. It looks like interesting. You know, that is the Beyonce birthday who's connected to Jay-Z. Jay-Z out of New York. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. But yeah, dude kind of looks like Bill Gates and Dr. Drew. That Bill Gates one, that hits huge. Look at that, 104.6 billion. Wow. Okay, so you had the nice Eric Adams connection, the 4-1 connection, the 76 connection. You see some of the other founders here, Wozniak, Ronald Wayne. There's no exact birthday for this guy who's taking over. It just says May. Look, this guy's birthday is in possibly a few days. It's in May. We're April 22nd. The guy taking over's birthday is in May. And May is in just over a week. Look at that. We're going to have to get an exact birthday, bud. Oh, look, he was born in 75 or 76 is what it says. Check that out. And Apple Inc. equals 76, founded in 76. That's the dude taking over right there. CEO. Wild, man. Amazing. Peace out, he says. That's everything I entered right there. That's it. He says peace out. Tim Cook will step down as Apple CEO and hand the reins over to the iPhone maker's hardware leader, John Tiernes. Until next time.